a weekly program dedicated to innovation and entrepreneurship. Every Monday afternoon, your host, Kip Marlowe, will feature interviews and commentary with real-world entrepreneurs and topical guests that help you understand the fundamental principles of entrepreneurship, as well as what it takes to transform an idea into a new venture. Our ultimate mission is to encourage, inspire, and teach entrepreneurship everywhere. And now, here is your host, Kip Marlowe.
Welcome aboard, everybody. This is Kip Marlowe, and this is Entrepreneurs Club Radio, and we got a great show for you today. We've got Ingar Grev calling in from Washington, D.C. He's the D.C. growth coach, graduate of the Naval Academy, and almost a complete expert on leadership, and we're going to talk about the leadership lessons of SEAL Team 6. Tony Stastny's coming on around 4:30. He's with the Next Level Workshop, and it's a great idea. We're going to talk a lot about that today. And then at 5:05, Bob Shearer of Shearer's Foods in Brewster, Ohio, is going to be calling in. So it should be a real good one, and a lot of it will be on leadership. So without further ado, Ingar, I think you're on the line. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Kip. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastically. This is Ingar Grev, the DC growth coach. And Ingar has his MBA from Maryland. He is a graduate of the Naval Academy. And we've talked a lot about leadership, Ingar, and most of our chats have been about the lack of leadership in business today.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
You know, I'd hate to make a broad statement and say there's a lack of leadership to business today, but it is my personal observation that American business, particularly American business, I haven't looked at European businesses or Chinese businesses or anybody else's, really have a dearth of leadership talent.
Well, I agree with you because I talk to small business owners every day. I've coached them. I've advised them. And I think part of the problem is that there's no real course on leadership that is specific to a certain industry or a certain business. So I'd love to get into the leadership traits of SEAL Team 6, because you and I have talked about this leadership issue at least 4 or 5 times, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So let's get into that. Can you start on that?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, actually, I'm going to step back a little bit from SEAL Team 6, because actually, just to mince words with you a little bit, I specifically, my ideas are not really so much on SEAL Team 6, but just in general about how the SEAL teams have created such incredibly effective organizations.
Yes.
So more broadly beyond just SEAL Team 6, but it was SEAL Team 6's activities, or their great success with Osama bin Laden, taking out Osama bin Laden back in May, that prompted me to write this series of articles.
Yes.
And to come up with this idea about what is it about the SEALs that make them so darn effective. And you know, it steps back a little bit further from that when, again, at the Naval Academy, and this goes to much of what you and I have talked about over the years, is that at the Naval Academy, we just had this incredible experience with being taught both on the academic side about Leadership 101, how to be friendly but not friends, management by walking around, how to be a man or woman of integrity and honor, how to apologize when you're wrong, how to understand that the people working for you are just as smart, if not smarter than you are, and the reason why you're an officer and they're not is because you made the choice to go to officer school, and they made a choice to go some other different direction. So you're not a better person, you're not more qualified, it's just that you have been put into a leadership role. And yeah, because you went to the Naval Academy or if you went to ROTC or something like that, there's probably some inherent leadership ability that you have that got you to come to that school. And so it wasn't until about 20 years afterwards, after I graduated, and really started to realize the incredible gift that we got by going through a service academy and then getting practical application in the fleet. In my case, as a submarine officer, or in the case of the SEALs, by going through BUDS, which is their basic school, and then the entire training, they continue to go on as SEALs. And just to finish this thought, it was right after the SEAL Team 6 thing happened, or the SEAL Team 6 thing happened. I was out for a run, and I was wearing the shirt of my college roommate, a guy named John Kiner, and he passed away almost 2 years ago from a brain tumor. And if anybody out there wants to check him out, if you go to teamkiner.com, it's Kainer, teamkiner.com.
Gotcha.
This guy was just a most amazing individual. And what he accomplished in the 10 years after he was diagnosed with a brain tumor was just astounding. And so I was out for my run. I said, gosh, there's something about the SEALs that just makes them enormously effective. And what are those things? And so I just went back and thought about all my discussions that I had with my friends who were in the SEALs, including John Kiner, from shows on TV and just articles I read, and just from my own experience at the Naval Academy. And I came up with a set of ideas that I saw that were critical to the SEAL team effectiveness.
Gotcha. Let's go with it. Well, first of all, can I back up just for a second? Mm-hmm. How did you end up at the Naval Academy?
Well, ever since 7th grade, I decided that I wanted to fly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my and you'll see this actually across the board for most people who go to a service academy, is they wanted to go for a long time for some passionate reason, and so I asked my 7th grade math teacher, Mr. Kolb, hey, how can I become a jet pilot? And he said, well, you should probably try to go to the Air Force Academy.
Wow. Okay.
And so I made it my goal to go to a service academy. I learned what it took, and I did all those things. I joined every single club in the school, got involved in the student government, was an athlete, so I played the sports, and I did the things that were required to get into a service academy.
Gotcha.
And then I wound up going to the Naval Academy for the confluence of two things. One, my congressman told me that he wouldn't give me a nomination if I had poor eyesight, which I did. It was below 20/20.
Okay.
So he wouldn't give me a nomination to the Air Force Academy. And the other thing was I was also getting recruited to play football at Navy around the same time. And so the confluence of those two things made me shift my decision to the Naval Academy.
And I can understand that. I guess just kind of talking about what you said earlier is a lot of the people that go to the service academies, including the Naval Academy, have some kind of leadership skills or going in that direction anyway when they get to the academies. You see, that's what I'm talking about. You had the same thing. So when you get to the Naval Academy or West Point or the Air Force Academy or whatever, you already have some of those skills in you.
I would say, and this leads to the idea of entrepreneurs or anybody who's leading a business, there's something that had us stand out from the crowd vis-a-vis leadership. Either, again, we were involved in a lot of the different activities, student council or something like that. I mean, there were things that experience has told people that are markers or indicators of someone who's got the ability to be a leader.
Gotcha.
It's not necessarily the introvert. It's not the person who doesn't get involved in things. It's generally the person who is involved in trying to achieve things and does that maybe in a team-based environment. It was difficult for me actually to quantify what those things are. And it actually is going to be part of the research that I do for the oncoming series of articles here.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Hold that thought. We've got to take a quick break, Ingar, and we're going to be right back with the leadership's traits of all SEAL teams with Ingar Grev. We'll be back.